and welcome back to my channel. So today we continue with the money saving series, and if you're new here, karibu sana. My name is Regina, and in this channel I talk about simple living. Under simple living we talk about decluttering, saving money and giving. And today we're going to be talking about saving money. We've been running a series for the last 1 month that is on saving money. And today we are going to be looking at how can we save money when we are earning so little. You are earning very little at the end of the month. The income doesn't seem like it allows you to save, but then we still require you to save. So how are you going to be able to save? We are going to show you how to do that today. So keep it locked here until the end of the video. So I have been there and I've done it. And I remember sometime, friends hanging out with friends and friends telling me, hey, Regina, you're not a Kamba. I come from a community in Kenya called Kamba. And there's this community in Kenya called Kikuyu. And there are stereotypes about these different ethnic groups. And so people from this community where my husband comes from, which is Kikuyu, are stereotyped as people who know how to plan their monies and they not just waste money. They know how to save money and they'll not just give their money anyhow. They have to give their money for a reason. So people used to, my colleagues in fact in the office, Roslyn Kamau. Roslyn, I remember, I was selling airtime in the office. Selling the airtime and making something on top. And she used to call me, this Mkikuyu. Roslyn herself is a Kikuyu. So it's not in any way to say Kikuyus are bad or anything like that. She was a Kikuyu herself. And she used to call me a Kikuyu because of my attitude towards money. That I'm looking for money left, right, and center. Now that I'm earning and the kind of money that I'm earning, I don't feel like it's enough to make me reach where I want to be. Then I start looking for side hustles, something small that I can do. And I'm telling you that time I sold a lot of airtime and made some good money. Everybody in the office, in fact in the building, knew that Regina sells airtime and they would always come to look for me. And that said, how to save money now, earning that little money, for me, the first way how to do it is to rent a cheap house. The same period, I remember living in a house where I was paying 5,000 Kenyan shillings. It was a bed sitter, a small house where I had a place to put my bed. There was a small kitchen, just a sink and a small extension of surface where I can put my vyombos, my plates. And then there's the washroom. It had the washroom and the bathroom. And I was paying 5,000 Kenyan shillings. And it was not in a bad area. It was in a good area. If you know Moja, it was in that area. I know it may not be your best place, but for me it was then, compared to where I would have gone and spent more money. And it's not that I was earning little money, by the way. Why I was doing that, it's because I knew what I was doing. I wanted to pay for my school fees. I said that I have to go back to school. I joined employment with only a diploma and I decided that I was going back to school to do my degree. And that's what happened. For 4 years, I lived in such a place so that I could save money and pay my school fees. And believe it or not, I used to pay, I think, 84,000 Kenyan shillings a term. I have never borrowed anyone that money. I saved towards my school education, and that happened because I believe I lived in a cheap house. And of course, after that, then I decided where I want to live. I moved from that place and went to a better place. I mean, did that make me less human being because of living in such an environment? No, I knew what I was doing. So if you want to save money and you are earning little money, you have to be intentional on the area where you rent your house or the amount that you spend in your on your rent. Sorry. And by the way, that will also make you buy fewer items. This issue of decluttering we are talking about. When you have all this big space, you want to fill this corner, you want to put something there and there, because the space is there. When you are living in a smaller house, it is a smaller house. There's no space for many items. Decluttering. Pap. The second tip is phone expenses. Making phone calls. Which line do you use? Let's even start from there. There are a good number of lines in Kenya that you can use for your communication. Which line do you use? Do you know how much that line charges you per minute or per second? Do you know? You have to be intentional to want to know how much you use on your airtime and where your money is going. Do you work in an environment where there is internet, and perhaps you can even make some calls through WhatsApp call, if that allows, if your organization allows that I do not have to call this person with my airtime, I can call through internet, which is available in the office setup that I'm working. Do you, for example, have an office line, and maybe this call that I want to make to, say, Susan, it's work-related call. I don't have to use my phone. I can ask the office, the call center, or the receptionist to make this call for me, and that way I save money on my phone that I would have used to call Susan, but I call through the office line. But I'm not encouraging us to call personal, personal friends or information where we are sharing personal information through office line, but anything that is related to work, because I found myself doing the same. I don't want to keep on calling the reception so that they call for me. It's a quick way of doing it, just picking your phone and calling Susan, yet you're talking work issues. Use the office line. That way you'll be able to save some good money. I am telling you, if you sit down and calculate the amount of money you use on your phone at the end of the month, some of you will be shocked. Just sit down and budget your airtime in terms of your phone calls. You'll be shocked. So let's be intentional on how we use our airtime, and that way we may find savings from that, so that then we can save towards our investments. The other issue is using public transport. You are earning little money, and you're there with your car, for example, and you're not able to make ends meet, or you're not able to save because all the money is going to rent, fuel, and at the end of the month you don't even have a single coin that you can put into your saving. Yet saving is a huge chunk of what you should be doing with your income, saving towards investment. How do you go about it? I've shared this before, that one time myself and my husband were living in a place where public transport is very, especially in Kenya, public transport, it's very common and many people use public transport. And then we found ourselves with the car, and it's not making sense because we are still saving. That's the time we were saving 30,000 Kenyan shillings towards our house. And so it's just not happening. If we fuel the car, in 1 week's time, we'll not have money for food. So how do we go about it? Left the car, use public transport. So I encourage people who are earning little money and you want to save, consider using public transport. Because you'll not use the kind of money that you would have used on fuel. It's much cheaper to use public transport. And the other issue is utilities in terms of water, energy. From energy, steamer, electricity. How much do you pay for your electricity? How much are you paying for your water? And do you know why you are paying that amount that you are paying? You just get bills at the end of the month, 500 for water, 2,000 for electricity, and you never analyze where these bills are coming from. Why am I paying this high electricity bill? Perhaps you always leave your lights on the whole day when you're going to work. You never remember to switch off the electricity. Sometimes maybe you live in an area where there's no water. You leave the tap open, so when the water comes, it will flow until the time you come in the house and switch and turn it off. So just being careful and intentional with those small things. And also there's also the issue of buying energy efficient bulbs, where you buy those bulbs that save energy. That way then you don't spend a lot of power on bulbs. And the last tip which I do. And I said, all these tips I've tried, by the way. I carry food to the office. I don't buy lunch. The food that was cooked last night is what I will carry to the office for my lunch. I will not buy lunch out there. So I had this discussion with a friend. We went, and this is not to say that I don't go for lunch while in the office. Once in a while I do. Maybe we come together with colleagues, let's go for lunch, and we go together. But and in one of those days, I had this conversation with a colleague in the office, and he told me that he uses 250 Kenyan shillings per day for lunch, and sometimes 300. It depends. If you're having chicken, it will be 300. If you're having beef, 250 Kenyan shillings. And we did that calculation with him per day for 5 days. 250 per day for 5 days for 4 weeks. A lot of money. And Regina is here carrying food from home. What did we cook last night? Githeri. I carry it for lunch. What did we cook last night? Rice and beef. I'll carry it for lunch. I mean, it's much cheaper carrying food from home that has been cooked from home. It's cheaper to cook than to buy anyway. And it will end up saving you money. That money, that 250 a day, calculated per week and per month, that money could be going towards your savings account or your investments. Up to this far, I hope you have learned a few tips on how to save money on a small budget. On a small salary. And if you want more information on saving money, you can look at the last episode where we talked about saving money generally and tips on how to save money. And if you're also looking on how to get to financial freedom, there's also a video that we did. I will also put the link down there so that you can access it. Up to this far, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for keeping on coming and watching the videos. I hope that you'll get some ideas that can help you going forward. And if you have not subscribed, kindly consider subscribing and also hitting the notification button so that you can be alerted when I put these videos on. Until next time, it's a goodbye from me.